Hello, I'm Matt Guffenhouse.com and here with Matt Stillman from Rome Snowboards. Matt, how you doing, man?
That's me. I'm swell. Happy to be here.
Hey, thanks for being here. Matt's walking us through the 2018 lineup of Rome. And what do we have here? We have 3 decks. What are these?
We do. We have 3 decks. We're in the all-mountain offering from us. And even within that sort of category, we have 3 unique decks, 3 unique camber lines.
Sure.
All designed to do something differently that, represents a different strength to different riders.
Yeah.
And that's sort of really something we try to bring to the table in whatever the category is really that versatility.
So within a category, having multiple boards that do well for any kind of type of riding, skill or whatever.
Yep.
What does all mountain mean to Rome?
Really, I think that's sort of the bread and butter of most people, how they think of their own riding. Sure. In most of conventions. That, start at the top of the mountain, you can maybe dip into the trees for a little bit, side hits when appropriate, and cruise through the park at the end. It really comes down to needing a board that performs whatever you put in front of it.
Got it. Now, do you see that the Rome's 18 line is a little bit more directional in the all-mountain category, or a little bit more kind of twin in the all-mountain category?
I would say it's a little more in the twin camp, but even within that, the slight nuances of the directional, or as we call them, the almost twin boards.
Yeah.
So again, it's really able to ride switch equally versatilely, but it's meant to just stand out on its own a bit more.
Got it. So like a lot of companies, sometimes they'll classify boards as like a directional twin. Sometimes that means that it's a twin deck with a setback stance. Sometimes it's a centered stance with like a setback side cut radius. When you say like twin-ish, what does that mean?
A little bit just setback, more or less.
Okay. So twin deck, setback.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So we have 3 different decks. We've got the Reverb rocker, the Crossrocket, and then we have lastly the Blur, which is a badass board.
That is a personal favorite for damn sure. Yeah.
Across the entire line.
I have to be honest, I ride as many boards as I can.
Yeah.
That just gets my jollies for sure. But the Blur is just an incredibly fun board.
Sure.
It's so lively and responsive.
Got it.
That deeper side cut is perfect for really just edging.
Okay.
Like champion.
Awesome.
But can't overlook the Reverb rocker either.
What's the story with the Reverb for the Reverb rocker?
The Reverb rocker.
For 18.
Important point of clarity there.
Yes, rocker.
So that is sort of our more traditional rocker offering.
Yep.
In the mountain pop rocker, being that we have, rocker in the center line here, camber underfoot, and rocker in the nose and tail.
Got it.
So this is really more of your workhorse, do everything board, really popular board for us because of the nature of, it's not a crazy amount of rocker.
Yep.
It's been mellowed out over the years. We've really tried to refine and find that sweet spot.
Cool.
But it's a board that a lot of people gravitate towards due to that camber line.
Got it. Do you feel like the Reverb rocker has overall a camber profile, or is it still kind of has a little teeter-totter to it? This table's like super, it's not flat by any means.
I think in the scheme of things, that's rocker.
Yeah, okay.
And even as we say that, rocker is such a ever-evolving hybrid term in the year 2017.
Right.
Everything can be considered a rocker at some level.
Yeah, that's right.
I think for the most part, this is our really traditional reverse camber board.
Okay. Got it. And how long has the Reverb rocker been within the line?
That's a great question. That's a staple. That's been around for a while.
Right. Now, a lot of people, when they look at Rome decks, sometimes they'll see these little rods kind of sticking out. What are these rods, and what do those do?
That is a great question. That is what we'd call a frequently asked question.
Yeah.
And I've certainly got that before, where even when I was doing like customer service emails, people would be like, "Oh, there's something sticking out of my board." Well, rest assured, that is by design.
It's supposed to be that.
So those are turbo rods, which is our proprietary tech for us, and there's different variations of them. Hot rods, turbo rods, bamboosters. It is a piece of tech that Paul Maravitz, our board designer, came up with that is designed to add stability, snap and pop, and really just a more dynamic flex overall. So in the Reverb rocker, we have the Reverb rocker is a single barrel bamboo rod.
Got it.
So bamboo, obviously being a wood, is a little bit more forgiving and buttery and flexible. So it's just ultimately designed to complement the flex pattern and really give more unique characteristics to the boards.
Got it. And now it kind of sticks up. Does that mean like the rest of it is kind of milled into that core?
That is exactly it.
Oh, that's pretty simple.
Yep.
Cool. And that's a Reverb rocker, kind of designed for pretty much that top of the mountain.
That's meat and potatoes. That really is, anybody who needs a really stable board that is something that, I think that's an easy board for me to recommend to a lot of people who might not know what they're looking for in a board. So that's going to really be a very go-to board for a lot of riders.
Got it. And now this one has a pretty similar style profile shape, right?
It does.
Or not?
Well, I'd say the shape is similar, but the Crossrocket is really a horse of a different color from a lot of models within our line.
Yeah.
But it's a camber profile that is sort of, you're either for it or you're against it. And those who are about it love it and will die for it. I've certainly experienced other people who are like, that's not for me.
Sure.
And that's fine.
Yep. Now it has like kind of like risen up contact points, right?
It does.
With a camber profile, though.
So this is a positive camber deck with 3D rocker in the nose and tail.
Got it. What does that do?
So that really lets it float as though it was a fully traditional rockered board.
Sure.
But with the strength and predictability of camber.
Yep.
So the Crossrocket is really just a very unique specimen in that capacity.
Then
And it really does perform like a cambered board in, 90% of the time until you want that float from the rockered nose.
Yep. And that's rocker on the nose and on the tail, right?
That's correct.
Now that's a kind of unique thing because like a lot of classic camber boards, like if you're not paying attention, like it's like late in the day, it's like 4 o'clock, you've been ripping all day, and you're on hard pack or you're on some like kind of variable terrain.
Yep.
Like watching out for those contact points can get kind of stressed.
Yeah.
It messes you up. So having a little bit of 3D to it is
it's a secret sauce, so to speak. There.
No, you guys used to do this kind of like almost diamond style pattern where everything outside of that diamond was all rock. Is that the same kind of thing, just not as heavily?
Not as overly pronounced, so to speak.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
But yeah, if you see that in person, you can see the sort of recess on the nose and tail.
Got it.
But if you were to look straight down the barrel, so to speak, you really see the rise.
Now, who do you think the Crossrocket is designed for the most?
I think the Crossrocket is designed for, a camber junkie, someone who wants the stability and power of a camber board, but realizes that there's a little more out there in the world. And that this is a board that, again, if you get a sneaky snowstorm, you're going to be really stoked that you have rocker in the nose and tail.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of 3D. And it has a really sweet top sheet, and it has like wood veneer too.
It does. Our art director, Michael Paddock, is a huge fan of John Contino, and Contino has done the artwork on, I think, the last 4 Crossrockets now.
Awesome.
So this is an evolution of the year prior's graphic, and it's this really cool kind of totem pole, so to speak, of all these different art elements going on in there. And he and I sat and brainstormed some of these things, and then Contino brought it to life. But I'm a big fan of this guy down here just having a little sip.
Nice. Is that a little native trout?
I think he might be a little brook trout.
Is it? That's awesome. And then lastly, your favorite. This is the Blur, pretty much full camber story here, right?
Yeah, so this is our Fusion camber, which is a really exciting camber that we have in a lot of other models as well.
Yep.
But the Blur is a charger of a board.
Mm-hmm. It's a Goodwood Award
winner. It's an all-mountain Goodwood Award winner. Shout out to Transworld. I see you, Cafiero. Where you at? Yeah. But so it's a camber board in most senses, in that there are pockets of rocker in the contact points, very small amounts of rocker, and you really don't notice that until you are in a more variable terrain setting. So let's say you're cruising along, edging like a cambered board with a deeper side cut, you're having a great time, and then you encounter that kind of chunder, that variable snow, and you need to be backseat or just a little more responsive.
Sure.
That's where you notice it.
Really?
And frankly, this is a board, I've had the fortune of riding this on some deeper days, or days where I'm cruising around and I'm like, I wonder if there's snow in there. And I dip into a weird stash of trees and there's like a magic untouched part of snow. This thing is amazing in deeper snow. I'm a huge fan.
Wow. Is it set back? Does it have a slightly longer nose than tail?
It does. This is definitely a directional board.
Got it. And then it has a kind of double rods.
So this is a very unique hot rod configuration in that these are carbon rods that run along the side cut of the board, so it's
the whole way.
The whole width. Yep. It is a really lively, fun, energetic board.
Got it. And that's like, so this piece is that piece down there.
Yep. Just running right through there.
That's awesome. Cool. Now, what is your favorite thing about the Blur? Why do you like it so much?
I definitely am drawn to the side cut in that it's a little bit deeper. So I think that really complements the carbon in the sidewall there.
Yep.
That really just makes it as it knows what you're thinking. You start to engage a turn and you're just ripping it.
Got it. And it's got a really fun shape.
It does, yeah. I mean, it just begs to be pointed. This board is like you're out of sight instantly.
Yeah. Now, what would you say to anyone out there that's kind of looking for a new all-mountain board? Why do you think they should choose any of these three or any of the other boards that we have?
Sure. I think with an all-mountain board, you just want to be aware of what that camber line is and really what it can do for you. You know, it's really picking something that complements your riding style and or what your, intended terrain is.
Sure.
So, I mean, of these three boards, there's three different riders that really would gravitate towards each one for different rationale.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And it's so nice that you guys have so many different boards, but boards that make sense, that don't really have much overlap.
Right.
Oh, man. Stillman, dude, thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure's all mine.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Stoked that you're here in Minnesota for the first time.
Oh, me too. Fired up.
Yep. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can check out the Reverb Rocker. You can check out the Crossrocket and, of course, the Blur at thehouse.com. Click the links below. We have pretty much every board within the line.
Get fired up.
Which is nice. That's right. Remember to subscribe to the channel. We just broke 25,000 subscribers like 2 weeks ago.
Hot dog.
Hot dogging. Pretty pumped on that. Feel free to like and subscribe. And remember to leave a comment for myself or Stillman.
I'll see you in the comments.
That's right. See you guys out there. Peace. Yeah.